5 episodes ago, we accepted the country's 8 most abysmal motorists into our rehabilitation center. And when they arrived, they parked right over there.
Since then, 2 people have graduated, 1 guy got kicked off, and the brand new Camaro we bought has been badly damaged.
I should have stopped them permanently in the parking lot. And we should have realized they would wreck the Camaro, because after all, this is Canada's worst driver. Every year on Canada's Worst Driver, we do a challenge called the Eye of the Needle. And every year, collisions in the Eye of the Needle happen about 10 times as often on the right-hand side.
And the right-hand side is the passenger side. For years, we've had a theory on why this phenomenon happens. Our theory is that subconsciously, drivers would rather jeopardize the safety of their passengers rather than their own safety.
To see if that theory is true, this year they will be going through the Eye of the Needle in a right-hand drive vehicle.
With the steering wheel on the right, will drivers still collide to the right? The course this year contains 5 arches positioned along a long corner. The speed minimum for this challenge is 50.
And I'm at 50K an hour right now. Now, just because I'm driving a right-hand drive car doesn't mean the normal rules of driving don't apply. I want to look far up the road. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Focusing far ahead allows me to see the front of the vehicle and the arches with my peripheral vision.
Man alive, it's really not that difficult if you know the proper rules of driving.
Don't look at the arches. Look where you want to go.
Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Dale will be first to drive our right-hand drive vehicle.
The steering wheel's on that side. How am I supposed to steer from this side? There's no steering wheel.
This is steering wheel is right there.
How are you supposed to do that?
Well, you want to sit where John is.
I do?
At home in St. Catharines, Ontario, Dale can't get her cat or her husband into the car without a fight. Her nephew, John, hasn't ridden with her since she drove through her garage door. On the road, Dale doesn't make any effort to follow driving laws.
I believe that there are too many rules, signs, speed limits.
Dale has to drive to visit her family. But when Dale is in her car,
my kids aren't allowed to go past the garden on my front lawn.
Dale's family won't get in the car with her.
Our kids are not allowed to be driven by Grandma.
I will not allow her to drive my children.
We were not allowed to drive in a car with her.
I will not let her babysit my daughter because I don't trust that she'll stay in the house.
On the road, you can trust that Dale will break so many rules.
That's what I do.
The family driving ban makes perfect sense.
Being banned from driving my grandkids is probably the worst emotional feeling that I've ever had.
Today, Dale is confused by our right-hand drive machine.
This is gonna screw me up forever.
And she's afraid of the 50k an hour speed minimum.
50's not fast.
This is an English car.
Are you worried about going a European 50?
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
It means it's not a Canadian 50.
50 kilometers is 50 kilometers. There's no difference wherever you are.
Okay, I knew that.
Do it perfectly. Let's get you graduated.
Yay!
You ready?
Drivers will only get one attempt at this. Unless they go too slow. And Dale never makes it to 50k an hour. But she still hits every arch. On the passenger side.
Did I hit every one of them?
Yes, you did.
Oh my God.
Inside the Dunnville Airport hangar, our staff of experts are watching Dale terrify her passenger.
That is fascinating. It was the opposite side of the car from the driver that hit every time.
That is our psychologist, Dr. Lauren Kennedy Smith. She's joined by Peter Mellor, our basic driving teacher, ex-highway cop Cam Woolley, and our high-performance driving instructor, Philippe Letourneau.
We've said it many, many times on this show, look where you want to go, not where the car is going.
Wherever Dale was looking, she wasn't seeing that every hit was happening on the passenger side.
I thought I hit this on this side.
You thought you hit right in front of you on the right-hand side?
Yeah. Can he get out and give me directions?
Do you want me to run beside the car and give you directions?
No, I don't.
When she's ready to go again,
Look in the future, keep the car to my side, and try.
I give her the go-ahead.
50 kilometers an hour. Go. If you have a seatbelt at home, I'd put it on right now.
On her second attempt, Dale again drifts to her left. And once again,
Concentrate on your side.
Dale hits every arch on the passenger side.
Hit them all.
Now Dale understands why her family won't drive with her.
I understand that now. I don't blame them for not getting in the car with me. My cats won't even go in the car with me. I understand that.
In our nation's capital, fashionista Lance was nominated by his best friend, Gilles.
You left your milkshake on the top of the car, brother.
Lance has to drive for the sake of his job.
The pants a straight leg, straight all the way down. The tie, the skinny tie is really nice with this. I like that James Bond look.
And he has to drive his 92-year-old grandmother to church, even if that does put the fear of God in her.
I'm very nervous when I'm in the car with him.
Lance is nervous when Lance is in the car with Lance, too.
Okay, let's do this.
So far in rehab, Lance has only passed one challenge. And today, he fails again. However,
Nice.
he looks far up the road.
Nice.
And he misses two arches before clipping number 4 and then whacking the last one. Believe it or not, Lance wants to call this a pass?
I aced that course. What's up?
No. You didn't ace the course. Look here, my friend. That's the sign of a non-ace, right?
Yeah, but I think I did really well. I hit maybe my mirror, but it was flawless.
When we come back, Canada's worst drivers finish off the Eye of the Needle. Canada's worst drivers are showing us how well they comprehend steering. By going through our Eye of the Needle course in a foreign right-hand drive vehicle. Living in rural isolation, farm boy Brad was ordered off the road by Donna, his controlling wife.
He hits everything. He totals my cars, and he makes my insurance go up.
2 years ago, after this insurance increasing fiasco, Brad was told he had to be driven to and from work by Donna's father.
And head for home?
Because of failing health, Gil won't be driving much longer. But
I won't sit in the passenger seat with Brad driving. I'll put it that way. I've had one heart attack. I don't intend to have another one.
Donna's going to need a ride for the rest of her life, too. She recently suffered a serious, permanent shoulder injury. In rehab, Donna's demeanor and volume has contributed to a lot of Brad's errors. And today, the doubtful screaming starts before Brad gets to the first arch.
Sorry. Damn it. No. Sorry.
Donna has to be quiet.
I heard her and then
I'm
overcorrected.
sorry, Brad. I'm sorry.
Donna?
I'm sorry.
It's very hard for me to give that control to him, and you know I have to. I have no choice. I have to do it. And it's not that I don't trust him. I'm just scared of his driving.
Living in a small town on the East Coast, Jamie was nominated as Canada's worst driver by her husband, Eric, because Jamie's afraid to drive their son, Brady, through local traffic. Jamie gets so scared, in fact,
I can't do this! Oh my god!
she doesn't drive Brady through local traffic. And that's okay with him.
I'm a little scared of driving with her.
I don't like to know that he's scared. I mean, I want him to feel safe.
In rehab today, Jamie will feel safe when she hears herself swish through the arches.
I think I can do it.
Go when you're ready, Jamie. I have a really bad feeling that we won't hear the word swish. We'll hear more like cut thud with that kind of scratchy, foamy sound.
Hold it. Hold 50. Hold 50. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! That isn't funny.
That's not good either, Jamie. Jamie, you're going too far on my side. Holy.
Here at the Driver Rehab Center, we spend a lot of time making sure the courses we create are safe. Today, though, Jamie did something we couldn't do on our test drives. she broke the windshield. Something we thought was impossible at this speed.
Well, that didn't work out so hot.
Jamie should have seen this coming.
Where were you looking?
I'm not really sure. Not where I wanted to go.
Our next candidate hails originally from Zimbabwe.
Ngangoko sengigxilile lapha bathi uBrian ungibizile emxoxweni bathi mina nguCanada West Drive.
Yo. Dean has to drive because he needs to get to wherever it is he's scheduled to pick up garbage, which is how he pays for his speeding tickets.
Here in Quebec, there is community service. If you don't pay your tickets, there is an option. You can go for community service. I do that a lot.
Because Jamie smashed our right-hand drive car to a pulp, Lucky Dean will get to operate a left-hand drive vehicle.
50K an hour, Dean. Swish, 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 swish. Go! Think he'll actually make it, Dean? You think he'll actually go only 50? He likes to go a lot faster.
Dean boy, you can do this.
Dean starts well.
There you go.
And he hits nothing.
And it's my time.
There you go.
It's my time, man.
Yeah, but you're going 40.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So let's try going faster.
I want to do 80 now.
Okay?
Yeah.
I want to see you go as fast as you're comfortable going.
Yeah.
Show Canada you're the best driver. Go whenever you're ready. Will Dean be safe? Will he make it through here at 80 kilometers an hour? Only time will tell. Place your bets, Canada.
60, 70, 80.
At 80K an hour, Dean's driving is so good, it's confusing Brian.
What the?
The car is narrower, but Dean is dead center.
You did.
Dean deserves a victory dance.
Oh, yeah, you did it, buddy.
When we come back,
oh, this is gonna hurt.
We'll see how well Canada's worst drivers have learned to move a car in a confined space.
I suck.
So far on our series this year,
Stop.
Canada's worst drivers have killed 4 stick-shift vehicles.
He murdered this car.
They've smoked through tires, crumpled bumpers, smashed windshields, destroyed critical hardware, and fatally wounded gas tanks.
Shut her down.
On top of that, our K car became so under the weather, it drowned. And hasn't started since.
Damn!
You know, this year on our show, we promised you that no vintage automobiles would be hurt But unfortunately, our entire fleet of vehicles is already suffering from some very serious issues. So, the next challenge will be done in our mint condition, beautiful 1970 Monte Carlo. Let's just hope it doesn't suffer the same fate as our brand new Camaro.
The bad drivers have all been taught how to reposition a vehicle using little back and forth S-turns. This challenge will see if they learned that lesson. The goal is to back our Monte Carlo into each and every parking bay here without scratching its pristine paint job. An achievement that should take less than 10 minutes. Lance is up first.
Okay, what's the task? Am I not supposed to hit the walls at all?
That is what he's supposed to do.
Okay.
But trying to turn into the first parking bay, Lance turns too tight.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
No. Oh, no.
I thought we weren't going to let these guys drive the vintage cars this year.
Yeah, but we're running out of cars.
Every year, I wonder if the drivers on our show are actually getting worse. And I think the answer this year is yes. Lance and company are the worst we've ever had.
Am I hitting it? Am I touching it?
Touching it? He embedded our Monte Carlo's paint into it.
Really angry about that one. I can't even do that. I'm upset about that.
Now let's watch Jamie and see if she'll be decisive.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. What do I do? Oh!
Jamie doesn't do anything.
Can I move ahead?
Unless she's told to do something by Eric.
What you need to do is turn the wheel that way.
I just need to get good gas. I want you to guide me like, oh, Jamie, you're about to hit something.
I hit this car. You're about to hit something. You're about to hit something. You're hitting my side of your car.
Linda, explain to me how not to.
I think Jamie will be scratched from the list of possible graduates.
I kind of put a few scratches on one side, so that's not good.
Dale says a health issue is really bringing her down.
Today is very difficult because I just don't feel well.
Dale says she's bleeding from her gums because of recent dental surgery.
I hit it.
And she's worried that could lead to blood poisoning. If Dale is bleeding, she shouldn't be here driving.
Yeah, you bleeding?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Here.
You're not bleeding?
No, not now, but every 5 or 10 minutes, these gums are bleeding. Like, they truly are.
Bleeding gums means Dale should rest.
My only concern is that we're not pushing you too hard.
You're not pushing me too hard. I mean, I'm just really tired.
While Dale heads off to rest, Brad is next to feel the Monte Carlo's vibrations. Ever since they arrived in rehab,
I'm not even helping you.
we've been trying to get Donna to be more quiet as a passenger.
Go that one.
But even though Brad has hit nothing so far,
I would crank this.
I know. Yes.
Okay.
I see.
Donna is still infectiously afraid. she is foreshadowing a fight.
I think we're gonna end up not happy.
And even though Brad is doing a perfect run, Donna's insulting him.
I would never ask you to park a car.
Donna's rarely positive, but she is getting the message.
I know I'm causing some of Brad.
Speed freak Dean is the final driver.
That's my man.
Right out of the gate, Dean is going as fast as he can. Dean is ripping through our cross course at this dust-raising speed because
when you drive like slow, you're not gonna learn anything.
Hey, what the man? You don't see you're going on top of fridges, right? Are you? Yo. These are not boxes, you know. You can't just stay like that. You're scaring me, buddy.
by the time Dean makes it to the final parking spot, he's easily the fastest finisher.
Excellent.
But Dean is too fast for Brian.
I hate only one thing, and he's complaining.
When we come back, Canada's worst drivers deal with a sailboat on a trailer.
Is the parking brake supposed to be on during this challenge?
When this season of Canada's Worst Driver started, we bought a brand new Camaro. Since then, it's had about 200 kilometers put onto the odometer and about 2 million scratches put onto its body. We've been using this machine for one challenge per episode. And the next challenge for our brand new Camaro is to pull and launch a sailboat. To teach that skill, our expert Peter Mellor is here.
Okay, we're going to do some driving with a trailer. Trailer, going forward and reversing with a trailer.
Going forward, it's important to take turns wide and a little late.
Wouldn't naturally the trailer follow?
Yeah, but it'll take the shortest route.
The trailer takes the shortest route. Means that if you just make a very tight turn, your trailer won't make it. To take the turn correctly, like I say, you have to drift a little wide and turn a little late. Reversing, things get more complicated.
If you want the trailer to go left, you've got to turn the car to the right.
If you get muddled in reverse, the trailer can pivot into a damaging position called a jackknife.
We're going to jackknife if we go back. Go forward a little bit.
Going forward puts everything back into alignment.
Way easier to do a straight reverse once the thing is straight.
When everyone is comfortable reversing a trailer...
You understand the idea now?
Yeah, thanks, Peter.
Nice.
We can start this challenge.
The challenge should be a piece of cake.
It's actually a piece of nautical stress.
We're going to have him launch a boat.
Our course starts with a hairpin turn that leads to a rambling forwards drive that leads to a reversing section that leads to the intimidating, sloping boat launch.
So, to start, I want to check my mirrors. I see the trailer. and I see the trailer.
The bad drivers learned to take turns wide, but
this turn is undoable even for regular cars.
So I go back and forth and back and forth.
Not bad at all.
It's about to get bad.
Whoop, I'm touching.
It does happen from time to time.
But I can get out of here without knocking anything over for sure. I can go all the way to my left.
Steering to the left while reversing makes the trailer go to my right.
And now swing it outside to my right going forward.
And that also makes the trailer go to my right.
Ooh, the people who make these courses are evil. But I can do this. No, I can't. I gotta think.
This course is so tight. It could cause mental breakdowns.
I think we're gonna actually have to open this up for Canada's worst drivers. I don't think they'll be able to do this. Getting a boat always seems like such a good idea at the time.
When I make it to this reverse sign, all that's left to do is the launching.
To end this challenge, the boat has to get fully in the water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you launch a boat.
This course frustrated me.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Before the bad drivers go, our crew widens the course to make it more bearable. Brad wants a relaxing drive.
We're gonna end up fighting.
No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
No, we won't.
Yeah,
I promise we won't.
If Donna says they will fight,
we're gonna hate each other after this.
No.
They will fight eventually.
No, I don't think so.
For now, though,
you're doing really good.
Donna's too impressed to fight.
Oh my God, babe. Honey.
As Brad becomes a better driver,
oh my God,
Donna is losing a certain amount of control in the relationship.
Awesome, Brad.
Sometimes that makes her happy. But sometimes
I trust you, babe.
It makes her want the control back.
Spin the wheel this way a bit more, yeah? So can you go this and that, right? I would go all the way up, give yourself the room, no? You're clear now. Hey?
I'm getting confused. What she wants me to do and what I needed to do are separate entities altogether, and so it was difficult.
Why can't you keep going? How much?
No,
is there not enough clearance that way? Well, this is
yes,
my thought.
I know.
I'm just giving you an idea. Why can I not give you an idea when you struggle? Said absolutely all up to here, and then you're like, you no.
I didn't say that exactly.
No, not exactly, but the attitude was there.
Brad has an attitude.
Like, can I just say what I'm...
Okay, let's try what you want to try.
Dude, you.
Let's do it.
You just said, I don't know, and then I go to say something, you're like, geez. So, isn't that a little difficult?
What is difficult to understand? Is why Donna thinks Brad is being disrespectful
and mean and mad and angry.
Oh,
well, you get so pissed, man. You wonder why I react the way I do.
say anything, man.
Donna started this challenge
You're gonna wanna...
by saying that she and Brad would fight.
I'm not criticizing your driving.
And you have to be
You
loud.
get in the-
Be loud, please.
Instead of fighting with Brad,
Okay, that's the water. It's done.
I know.
Donna should listen to Brad.
You aren't even entitled to give you a suggestion.
Yeah, but not
Right?
4 and 5 at the same time.
I didn't give you 4 and 5 at all.
Okay.
Jamie asks too many questions when she drives.
How do I put this down again? Whoa, what's happening? Which way?
On this drive,
What do I do?
Jamie asks for advice
Which way?
56 times.
Ooh, what was that? What do I do? What would you do? Do I reverse? What do I do? Which way? What the am I supposed to do? Which way do I turn the wheel?
In order to graduate, Jamie is not only going to have to drive better, she'll have to take more control.
Alright, so I gotta turn the car that way? Well, which way should I start turning the wheel? Where am I? Which way? So I want to turn my wheel left? Do I start with my left?
We've been asking Eric to keep quiet.
Oh my gosh.
And he is trying to let Jamie make her own decisions.
Where's the boat?
But Eric has to help constantly.
Am I good? Yeah. Alright, what do I do?
Jamie should stop asking so many questions.
I didn't do so bad, eh?
When we come back,
I'm not gonna let that boat win.
the rest of Canada's worst drivers go through this challenge.
Whose boat is that?
Canada's worst drivers have learned how to handle a trailer. But launching this boat is causing more trouble than we anticipated.
Oh my god.
Speed freak Dean starts off breathing rapidly and increasing his heart rate.
You have to use your medulla oblongata.
Medulla oblongata is part of the brainstem responsible for breathing and heart rate.
Oh man, this thing is gonna jackknife or something.
Using his medulla oblongata,
you're good.
Dean keeps his heart rate in check, remembers the lesson, and gets out of the hairpin turn faster than anyone. In fact, Dean does everything faster than everyone.
Hey, relax. Don't go fast.
Dean isn't going so fast that he hits things.
So far, so good.
Dean is so good,
I'm gonna hit that one.
he gets to the final reversing section without hitting a single thing. Dean still drives a little fast.
Do you see?
But with spotless results, it's tough to find fault with that.
So far, so good. I'm done.
Dean's done 5 times faster than me.
That was very, very, very good.
Yeah.
Lance might be Canada's worst driver, But he also might be Canada's most fortunate bad boat tower.
He's lucky he didn't tip that thing.
Lance can't do the widened out forward section cleanly. And on the final reverse, Lance doesn't seem to see where he's going.
I should have had this done like 10 minutes ago.
Over the next 10 minutes, Lance's driving becomes complete garbage.
Freaking crazy.
He hits going forwards and going backwards. He's worse. And when I say he's worse, I mean he's worse than any trailer reverser we've ever had. Lance does manage to get the boat safely into launch position. But he doesn't manage to safely launch the boat.
You just hit the boat. So it's done?
Towing a trailer doesn't float Lance's boat.
Knew that was going to be a fail.
Dale doesn't understand why she's pulling a trailer.
What has this got to do with driving?
This is driving.
My heart is pounding a mile a minute.
Stay as wide as you can over this side.
John advises Dale through the hairpin turn.
You're doing good.
Oh my gosh.
You're doing good.
Sick.
Just hug that side the whole way.
With the car, right?
With the car, yes.
John also advises Dale through the forward section.
Stay as wide as you can over here.
Okay.
But when they reach the final reverse section,
Whatever way you turn the wheel, the boat will go the opposite way.
we ask John to let Dale think for herself.
You can see at the back. I can't do this.
If John ever really stopped helping,
So you got your wheels turning the wrong way.
Oh.
Dale might never finish.
Which way do you turn the wheel?
This way.
No.
Dale just doesn't get it.
How did I do?
I did great.
You did great. You did. But don't ever think that I didn't learn from that experience, because I did. I learned a lot of skill.
When we come back, everyone wants to graduate.
You think you should graduate?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I do.
There's only 2 episodes left before our final episode. And people are starting to worry they might be Canada's worst driver.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
Do you deserve to graduate this episode?
I did horrible on the needle one. Really bad.
Dean did really well.
I didn't hit anything.
Do you deserve to graduate this episode?
I think I'm gonna graduate because there's Lance.
Lance got through this entire episode without crying or throwing up.
Do you want to graduate now?
I want to graduate.
Do you deserve to?
Maybe I still have a lot to learn.
Brad's wife, Donna, still hasn't learned to be supportive.
We do still have some communication issues to work through.
Amazingly, Dale feels as though she's learned enough.
Do you think you should graduate?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I do.
After you hit the eye of the needle every time?
Listen, I came here to learn. And I will never, ever, ever be irresponsible with a car again, ever. When I leave here, I am going to get a driving instructor and take driving instructions.
Yeah, but we're here.
I am standing here. I am physically sick, okay? I have to leave. I have to leave the show.
What?
I have to leave the show.
Before coming to rehab, Dale had 4 teeth pulled. Now she says she's swallowing blood, which might lead to blood poisoning.
I'm vomiting. I'm dizzy. I don't know what's happening to me. I want to stay, but I have to go.
Outside, Dale calls her husband to come and get her.
Hi, it's me. Listen, I'm really sick, hon. So you're gonna have to come up to the hotel with your car.
You okay, hon?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just need to see you.
Holy cast of colorful characters.
It's time to talk about who should graduate.
Dean, should he graduate this episode?
I think he should. To me, looking at the results here, it's time for Dean to go.
I gotta say, I agree.
He's done great work this week. He's no question, he's top of my list to go.
Doctor?
He's tied on my final list.
Philly?
He's the only one on my list, actually.
So, Dean should be our happy graduate. But it's not that simple. Dale says she's too sick to continue.
Under these circumstances where we can't prove anything, your only choice is to go with whatever story she's telling.
So it's either going to be the man who deserves to graduate or the woman who's claiming a health problem. Well, we've reached the end of our 6th episode on this season of Canada's Worst Driver, which means it's time for one more person to graduate and go back onto the public roads. Tonight, for the first time in a long, long time, the experts made a unanimous decision, and they decided that tonight's graduate is Dean. But only one person can leave per episode. And Dale is saying she's not feeling well enough to continue.
Oh my gosh.
Dale, we bought you this, bouquet of flowers. Because we want you to get well soon.
Thank you.
And we really hope that you don't ever drive in public again until you become fully rehabilitated.
Yes, I understand that.
Dean deserves to graduate. You should stay, Dale.
I've got 2 driver's licenses in my hand, Dale. Only one person can leave. You tell me who it should be.
Dean deserves to leave.
Come on, Dale, you can do it.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you better give it to Dean. He's a good driver. He deserves to go home.
Just take it.
Dean, you're our newest graduate.
All right.
Congratulations, sir.
When we met Dean, he was like a character from a movie. Leaning back, smoking, talking.
Hello?
And cutting off other drivers at speeds like
120, 140. Yeah, I'll do that, but I've learned speed kills.
On our high-speed courses, Dean learned how to avoid an accident by getting into a lot of them.
What the? Yo! What the? Where are you going? What are you doing? Man.
Dean needed help on the most basic levels.
A bit more?
But when we got him to understand the cause and effect of his actions,
keep your eyes where you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay? That will help you to steer properly.
Dean started driving better.
I did it. It's my time. It's my time.
There you go. Oh, hey, you did it, buddy.
I did it.
You did it, man.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
Speed Freak Dean may not be Canada's best driver.
You're awful.
So far, so good.
But he is the best in rehab.
And he's ready to be on the street. You know what I mean?
Dean's graduation means only one more person will go home before our final episode.
One of the 4 remaining people is Canada's worst driver.
I'm not the Canada's worst driver. Hell no.
Now there's only 4 of us? Oh my god.
On the next episode of Canada's Worst Driver,
Now it's trickster time.
we will learn if the remaining nominees know where their wheels are. They will learn the dangers of distracted driving. And when the dust settles from our handbrake turn test, you will learn the identity of this season's 3 finalists.